Hi guys, welcome back. I'm here. Just got me coffee. Right, I'm on my own today filming. It's a Sunday afternoon, it's 3:30 on a Sunday. Lisa's indoors watching a bit of telly and she's all cosy. I'm out here. I'm gonna just do another little turning. So I'm gonna continue on the theme using the carbide, like I said I was gonna do. If you noticed the last video that went up, I did the tea light holder. So we've got a pair of those because I'd already turned one, and now I'm going to do, carrying on the theme, I've got a nice piece of yew and I'm going to turn a vase, bud vase type thing. Well, it's not a bud vase, but it's going to be a little vase, a bit like a bud vase type thing, to go with it as a set. So it keeps the theme going, it makes it into like a little set. I've marked my centres on this, so I'm going to pop this on. Right, now I've got a crack, there's a crack just there. Okay, it goes down about 5mm. I'm hoping that's going to turn out, shouldn't cause me a problem. And there is, just right in the center here, there's a crack that goes from there to there, so there's a little crack of about an inch or so there. I'm hoping that's not going to cause me any problems once I drill out. I don't think it'll go too deep, but it's yew in it, so it doesn't matter. But this is for a demonstration piece, so it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm going to put the tenon on this end, so I'm going to pop this on just between centres. Now I'm, as I did with the tea light holders, I'm not going to rough it down. I'm going to turn it from square and use it as a square. By all means, rough it down, and I always, I always recommend, switch my lathe on, I always recommend roughing down with a roughing gouge if you've got one, if you can sharpen one. If not, you can use a carbide. But if you don't want to waste that time roughing down, because we're going to turn it all away anyway, so we can just turn it while it's square. It's not going to be a problem. Okay, I'll give you a couple of measurements. This is, the wood itself is just under 9 inches, 8 3/4, and it's 75mm square. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I want my actual vase to be about 8 inches, because I think yesterday I had them nearly 4 inches, so I want this to be double the height of the tea lights. So that gives me this bit down here. I'm going to put a tenon on to go into my, well, it's going to be this side actually, the tenon, to go into my gripper jaws, which are 15mm depth. So obviously I won't be going at 15mm, I don't want a full depth. I'm going to put a nice tenon on that's going to sit in my gripper drawers. I want it held tight because I've got quite a bit out hanging, and that'll leave me room as well to part off on the bottom, because obviously being this is going to be a vase, it's not going to really be able to turn it round and mount it again to take the bottom off, so I'm going to have to part it off and then clean the bottom up after. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get you moved around and focused in so you can see me do the bottom, or the tenon I should say. Right, okay guys, I've got you turned around. I'm going to start up, step to the side, let that spin up, and turn in again 2,500 RPM, and pretty much all of this turning will be done at that sort of speed. Okay, I'm just going to use a square carbide. Remember, I'm above centre. Okay, so I'm just going to come in and put my tenon on. Just following it over, and I need my tenon to be between sort of 55 and 60mm roughly. That looks roughly about right. Okay, so I'm going to come in again, handles down, and there's the wood removed. See, there's the bevel, that's the bevel on, and by just rolling over I keep bevel contact all the way in there, and I get this nice sort of a bit of a finish on this end as well. It's never going to be perfect. Right, that tenon's fine like that, so I'm going to stop that. So we get a lovely finish on here. You're always going to get a bit of tear out on this bottom, although we really haven't got, let me zoom you up on that. That's about as far as I can get you. There we come in. Right, you can see we haven't actually got any major tear out on here. nothing really bad. We've got a little bit, you're always going to get a bit, because as I say, we are just pushing in, but we've got a nice finish on here, and that's going to be perfect for going into my jaws. So I'm going to now get my chuck on, and I'll bring you back once I've got my chuck on. Right, okay guys, I've got my chuck on, my gripper jaws, and I'm going to pop this in there. As you can see through the gap here, we don't bottom out, we don't want it to bottom out, okay, and we've got a nice clean shoulder here that we're going to go onto, and I'm not a perfect circle, not far off of it, but I'm not a perfect circle. I don't want perfect circle. Now I've got it tight, so that's tight, and then I'm just going to give it a quarter of a turn. That's it. Now that's nice and solid there, okay, and then I'm going to bring my center up just to check. Yep, I mean, let me bring that round so you can see that we got a nice, there we go, a nice accurate tenon there, and we come straight back onto center there, okay. That comes straight into center, remembering that that center was the one from down that end, and that's a 1/2 inch circle there. That's why the teeth don't match up. That's a 1/2 inch, this is smaller, okay, but the center hole is bang on. So we've got a good center there. Well, I'm going to leave that out for a moment, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill that first. So I will bring out a little bit, and I'm going to drill it while it's square. I'm not worrying about taking it to round or anything, and I'm going to use, let me get my drill chuck in. Right, that's tight. And I'm going to use this drill bit, which is a 20mm. So I'm going to do a 20mm hole down there. Like I said, it is a bit sort of bud vase shape. I don't want it for big flowers or anything. A bit of holly or something like that would be nice in it. So again, I'm going to line that up so that comes bang onto center, that drill bit. Just put the point just there, and that should hold, everything should go nice. I'm going to turn the low speed down, start up, push the battery a little bit. I'm at 900. Right, we're okay. There we go. It's just the handle of my cowstock rattling, that's all that is. Right, nice and slow, not too, back it off, nice and slow. I don't want to create any heat, unnecessary heat, so I'm going to bring it back out, and I don't want to be winding my tailstock fully out. I'm going to, sorry, loosen that, push it in, and then I'm going to go again. Now I'm going to go deep enough, but we don't need to go over depth, because normally flowers, you don't want a, for a bud vase, you don't want a big stem, do you? Now remember, when you pull back on your chuck, otherwise you could pull that out. That's it. That's going to be a nice enough hole there. So let's get rid of that. Get that all out. That's still nice and cold. Look, I can hold it. It's not got hot or anything, which we don't want to generate any heat, especially with you, because of the cracking that we can get on it. It looks a little bit dark there, but I think you should be all right. Right, okay. Oh no, you're all right there. Let's move that up a bit. Right. Now's the bit, because we are hanging out quite a way here, so we've got to make some gentle cut. I want to just bring some cuts around this way. I don't want this sloping in, I want it sloping off that way, and I'm going to do that first. Okay, and we're going to be doing that, like I said, with the carbide. So I'm just going to come across the front here. We're going to, I think you can see from there okay yet. So I'm going to start up, so bring the speed up. We've got enough, good enough balance on it. Right, I'm just going to move my So I'll stop back a bit. Oh, that's the square chisel. I don't want the square. Right. 9mm box hollower. Exactly the same one we was using yesterday. Now we've got to be careful because we are out quite a way. We don't want to cause any undue stress. And as we know, a lot of time end grain we would come from centre out. I've got to lower down a little bit. Right, now I've moved that round. I want to bring that down a bit. Right, I want to soften this hole as it goes in. Right, so now I want to come back and we're going to be rolling that. Let's take some more cuts here. This is where you can hear the noise because we're quite a way out from the chuck. And we don't want to force anything. We definitely don't want to get no catches. So taking some nice gentle cuts. I want to leave this ridge here because we're going to roll that the same as we've done with the other. We're going to roll it on there. We really can't help the little bit of noise there because it's making nice gentle cuts. It's a simple case of it's just the distance we are out from the chuck. And we're cutting across the end grain. Just keep it nice and gentle. Right, we're okay, we're nice and smooth there. I want to roll this. And careful, we don't want no catches. I'm going to roll that in. So come across that top. Roll it over. There we go, we've rolled that in. And actually, oops, sorry. I'll come back onto the top of that, I didn't mean to do that. Right, so from there we're going to just come out a bit. We're getting less noise by coming from the centre out. So coming this way, we're getting less noise than when we go in, okay? So, but we're still on our bevel and we're still getting shavings. Right, now I'm going to take one more pass to go in. Get rid of that little bit there. Yeah, we're okay there. I'm going to come here, just clean this little bit up. Just a little bit there. There, that gets me nicely in there. That's the sort of top I want on it. So let's have a look. As I say, don't be in a rush, nice and gentle. Yeah, we've got a nice clean finish around that. And I have to watch because of where that crack, I don't think that crack's there. It's not going to cause me a problem. Okay, we've rounded that. That's nice. I could probably do with just a tiny little bit more clean up just on that there. So let's do that. I think that was where it just came back on it and I caught it slightly. There we go. Nice. Right, okay. So stop that and now I'm going to start coming around. I'm going to start tapering this in now. So that's all set there. what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you around this way for a minute, just to there. I'll take you out a little bit. Sorry about that. While I just mark up, and I'm going to mark up like I did before for my sound. Right, I've got 8 inches. What I want is 8 inches to the very top, so I'm bringing it up a bit. That's going to leave me a nice bit of room for parting off down the bottom. See, I'm going to have this here to part off, and I want 4 inches to my centre. Okay, so that's going to be nice. That's where I'm going to put my centre band. So I'm going to do the same as I've done yesterday and just put my line through. I'm just going to do this rough. I'm not going to mark up on all of it. I'll just go looking at, do it by eye. That it's oh, that just moved. There's straight. I could use a set square, but I'm miles out there. Right, that's okay, that's good. And then down here, I know I'm going to put a dot line. I'm literally just a few mil up. I'll put that there. That's going to give me an idea. That should show up when it's turning. Right, okay. So I'll do some parting tool cuts on that. So exactly the same as we've done on the bars. Now I'm going to try and get you in a position where you're going to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. Now there's a little bit of tear on that corner, but that doesn't matter because this is going to be round. It's not going to be square. Okay, I'm going to be bringing that in, and we're going to be taking the cuts until we get it to a round top, and that should look nice. So I've got to find where I'm going to bring you around to for me to start taking these cuts. And I'm going to put a live center in here. Actually, I can use my I can still use my step center because that'll be alright. That can go inside that. I'm going to pop that in because otherwise we're going to have trouble with it. It's going to vibrate. We're, as I say, 8 inches out from the chuck. I would not recommend doing all this without any tailstock support. You really need a bit. Right, okay, now I don't know whether you're going to be in my way there. I might take you round and put you on the other side. I'll bring you back in a sec, guys. Right, okay, I'll put you to that angle, not the normal angle you're at in here, but we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to use my parting tool now to come in on these 2 lines. Yep, I can see that all right. Let me get my speed back up. My 2,500. Because it was just on sort of 2,000 RPM. So there we go. Right, so same as I've done before, I'm just going to come straight in. Just about there, and I'm going to give myself where I'm going to be parting off. Yeah. Right, and then I can take a little bit of this down so I haven't got that nasty corner. I ain't got no nasty corners. Oh, there we go, we've got that as well. Right, okay. That's awkward doing that because I've got the camera right here by my side, so I was sort of going that way and it's a bit awkward to get in there. So, right, I'm going to start. And it's left-handed because see the camera there? That might not be. You might not be in the best place for me turning. See, we're just picking up the cut, staying on that bevel. We're going to stay nice and smooth there. We're going to stay the same shape as we did yesterday. think my tool rest is a little bit low actually. Yeah, I was a little bit low. Bring that up a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's a bit, and I need to move it in anyway. So there we go. That's better. Spindle work, always be above centre. Works better, because then when you present your bevel here, the wood is coming over and slicing through. You don't want to be down here and pointing up to centre. You don't want to be too low. Right, I'm going to move some of this off. It's out of my way. I'll get the same sort of taper. Right, I'm down to that. Just going to get this moved. See, and as tempting it is to scrape it down and get it down really quick, I want to keep it going the same here. Bevel controlled, every cut. I don't want to put any tear out in there. That is lovely smooth finish on that. Still not round at that top. I don't want to get it round straight away. I want to bring it in as I'm coming down. I've got lots more cuts to take yet. Right, we're coming to that point, and I'm going to go a bit thinner there, but now I want to leave that for my bead, because I've got the bead on the other one, haven't I? And I've still got a flat, I'm still not round there. Coming in nice, still not quite round, and you can see here as because I've got the camera there, I can't really come here and push through. I can do it with my left hand, but whether I come this way or whether I put that in my right hand and I come this way, I've got the same cut. Because it's a round cutter, I've got the same cut. So I can come from either way, and I've got the same, exactly the same cut. Okay. So it doesn't matter which hand you want to use it. That's the beauty of Carbide, because it's a round cutter. That's what we can do. So I can come in here and I'm getting a push cut, because I'm using the cutter in the same angle as if I was around here, and push cutting. That would be me push cutting, see? But when I start push cutting, I've got to change the height of the handle. I have to come up and I'll go more on the centre, which I don't really want to be doing. I've now got to get to make these two look the same. That's not too bad. That one's maybe slightly thinner than that one, but we're going to start getting, we're still not perfectly round on that top there. I can feel something. So I'm going to bring it down now to get it round. It's not too bad. We'll stop and have a look in a minute and see how we're doing, make sure whether there's any cracks or anything there, and then I'll move the camera round so I can get in better for myself. So just take your time and do it nice. What I'm going to do is get rid of a little bit of this again. Right, that means now I can come in and get on this edge nicely like this and pick that cut up. Notice as soon as if I get any sort of line at all, it's just a hesitation mark, go back for it straight away. Don't continue, just go back for it. Going a bit deep there. I'll shallow up a bit and come in again. That's all it is, I'm going a little bit deeper. Come out of it slightly there. It's just slightly more awkward with the camera being where it is for me here. But that's alright, it's about the right size. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the camera around and then I'll be able to get my finished cut. So I'm probably going to take you around the other side. Right, okay guys, I've brought you back, I've brought you right round to the other side. See, it's more awkward when Lisa's not here. Okay, and now I can get into my position to start to get my finished cut. With having full bevel control, we get a beautiful cut. And now I can roll that to my bead. Oops, just slipped in there. There we go. So get that little roll. And now I can see there's just a slight difference on this, but this has still got a little bit to go there. So that should make that fine. And then I can come in and again, it's getting on that bevel and getting that to be a bevel control. Still down a little bit. That's perfect. That's beautiful and smooth now. So I've got that out. So that's the depth for that top. Now I stopped, but I can pick that cut up again. But to pick that cut up again, I must come back here, get that bevel there, come down, and then the bevel will just naturally pick up that cut again. There, yep, we look like we've got that dead right there. Right, I've got a tiny little mark there, but I'll get that in a second. So now I've just got to roll this over for that bead. You've got to be careful, it will want to try and skip back if you're not careful. There, right, I've got a little ridge on the top, I don't want that. There, carbide can be so delicate, it really can. Right, okay, I'm happy with that. I'm just not happy with that little couple of little, they're not grooves, they're not like they're just from the bar, they're just a slight burnish. So I'm going to just come in and I'm really taking such a fine cut. It's going to be a bit harder to keep on that cut because it's so fine. And I'm going to take this out. I'll put another one there. Right, let's go again. Sorry, I've got to do it quicker. I've got to be quick with it. There we go. Straight through there. Come off of it. There, bring it down. That's right. There we go, we got that. Yeah, I think we've got rid of that. We're okay there. Everything seems okay. I'm just going to soften that edge. That's it. And then I'm going to soften that edge there. That's that. Right. I don't know, I've got a couple of little... You can feel that side's alright. It's just here. Let's go again here. Just losing it slightly there. Keep coming off that bevel. Got to raise the handle slightly as I'm going. There. It's cleaning up without actually taking any wood off, if you like. That sounds silly, but trying to virtually take no wood off, but get rid of those burnish marks. There we go. That's that. Now I'm just going to do my normal little bit of sanding on this. I'll stop and show you the finish anyway, which we've got straight off of Carbide. And here you can see this, look. We've got no tear out on here whatsoever. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Let me come round and just see what you can see. I'll bring it up a bit more. Show you here. Okay, you can see we've got no torn grain on there, nothing. So right, let's take you out a little bit. Okay, leave you there. Just what I'll do, a little bit of sand. Actually, what I'll do is I'll bring you out a little bit more. That's it. That should be all right. That way the sand won't get too much in your eye. It's got some beautiful grain patterns on that. Look at it, isn't it beautiful? Oh, that is beautiful. That has got such a... Oh, do you know, I don't even want to sand that. I've got to do a very slight because there's a couple of more like burnish marks which you get from the bevel. Not so much the bevel on this, it's more, but sometimes the bar comes into contact and that causes it. But I'm going to do a very little bit of sanding. I'm going to put my extractor on because this is you. Okay, so I'm just going to have that there. Start up. Just going to do a tiny little bit of sanding. I've got a bit of 180 grit here. More for key areas like that bottom bit. I'm going to come in there. Very, very light sanding I'm going to do. There we go. Nice and fast. There we go. A little bit on this top. Just going to pull this out for a minute. Take it back so I can just sand around that bit. Nice, very nice. Right, I'm gonna put it back up for a moment. No, I'm not actually. I'm not gonna bother with it because I'm only gonna wax it and stuff now. I'm not gonna need that. I certainly ain't gonna need it when I pile it off. So, rub like that. what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go for a couple. That's a 320 actually, this one. That'll be alright. Like I say, if you're doing this just for yourself, a bit of fun, you can spend a lot more time going through all your grits and stuff, and what have you. There, that feels really nice. Yeah, that feels nice. And as you can see, guys, this has all been done with, again, carbide. And that's the point I'm trying to make, is what you can get with carbide. You know, there's just so much rubbish going on about carbide and what it can and can't do, and now it's just for scraping. And well, you can see we've made no scraping cuts there whatsoever. We've actually cut all our wood, and we get a better finish than you get with a lot of tools. Basically down to the shape of the actual cutter allows you to do some cuts that are not easy to do with other tools. And it's just down to the simple fact because of that cutter. Alright, oh, sorry, put it there. That's it, that's the sanding seal. We've got loads of grain. You look at it and you think you've got marks and stuff, you haven't, it's the grain on the wood. So don't go worrying about over sanding and sanding, because it's all alright. Right, handful of these shavings just to denib it. There we go. Get rid of all that. And then again, I'm going to go for my Canuba wax. Try to get a nice even coat. It does help if you can get it on evenly. Right, okay. And now we're just going to come in and give that a nice little buff. You can see there where it starts to move. You use it, the friction, to get the heat, get it to move. It levels it all out, and then you just buff it. Then there, get it to move. You just need a little bit of pressure to get it to move. You've got to build a little bit of heat up on it, not too much, but enough, and that just then it stops moving, see, and then all you're doing then is you're just buffing the polish. Buffing the polish, I mean buffing the wax. You're just making the wax shine, and that gives a beautiful finish. Not a waterproof finish, but it's a hand-proof finish. I find you can hand all the things and it doesn't tend to lose its shine. Right, now I want to come in and butt this off. Sorry about the squeak. Now, whether I part that completely off or whether I just part it so far off, I'll decide that as I'm going. Okay, let me bring that up a little bit. That's it. Well, I'm going to take a little relief cut just here first off. I'm going to take a little bit of this cut, just because I want to see if I can get in here to keep it as smooth as I can on that bottom, and slight taper in. I'm just taking this in bits. I think you can see that. Let me see. I mean, I can part this off in one. Oh, sorry. Let me pull you off a bit and put you there. Stay still, camera. That's it. I can part this off in one, but I don't want to, because I want to try and get as decent a finish as I can on the bottom. Right, I'm going to start getting ready. Take a little bit more off of here. I can see it's starting to move, so I've got to go for it. There, that's not too bad. I've got the taper in. So, right, let me pull you out, and then I'm going to get, right, the vase is just there. Right, I'm going to bring you round out to here. Okay, sorry, I've got to just drop the camera down a bit because I've raised it up. Sorry about all this moving about. Don't make you seasick. Right, there we go. Like I said, it's a bit different when I'm on my own with this. Right, okay. There we go. Right. So we've parted off, and now I'm going to pop this out, and then I'm going to sand the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to put my in here. So that's it. That tightens up. Just a nip. It's metal. Metal on metal. Right, get rid of that one, and I'm going to put a new 180 grit. So I would have taken you off and got this all ready, but you're on, so I might as well leave you there now. Right, it's a new 180 grit on that. I'll turn that on because it's, again, it is U, and I've just got to sand that off on that bottom. Got that nibble there. Before, guys, if you're not videoing and things like that, you can spend a lot more time doing this sort of stuff. There we go, that's not too bad. Okay, I've got that bottom nicely finished off there. A couple of little bits, a little bit there. Like I say, when you're doing it for yourself, go through some different grits and do all that. Right, let's turn all the noisy stuff off. Turn all the noisy bits off. Let's move that over there for a minute. Wrong key. What I might actually do is it's going to be quite dusty. It's been down there, but if I put my mop in, I think I can hold it in here. These drawers. I've never tried. Yeah, that looks like it. Yep, that's tight. That looks like that's held. Right, and I'm going to put a bit of carnauba wax on that, and then just buff that bottom. Okay. Right. So let's start that up. Bit of carnauba wax on it. there we go. Okay, we've got a nice Canuba wax finished bottom on there. Let's stop that. That's quite good because that fitted straight into that chuck. There we go. Right, put my buffing wheel back in there. Turn that down there. Right, I'll take the chuck off. I've got to open it a fraction. There we go. That goes back on there, that goes on there. Right, hopefully, I can't see. Oh, I've got a little bit of wax there from the buffing wheel there. I must have just caught that edge. There we go. Get that bit of wax off. Right. Now then, let me see what you can see. The camera lens is got so dirty. Right, hang on. Let me take my face shield off. Right, so there you go. Hopefully, guys, you can see that finish on that. We've got a nice finish on the top, finished off the bottom. Okay, and a nice finish. So there we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my table set up, and I'll grab the two tea light holders, and we'll do a picture of them together. Right, so there we go, guys. There's our little set. Obviously, I haven't got any flowers at the moment, but you need something to go into the bud vase. But there we go, our little set. Two tea light holders and a bud vase out of you. A nice little Christmas set, put on a Christmas table. That'd be really nice, wouldn't it? A bit of holly or something in that vase. A few berries hanging down, maybe a little ribbon on it. And the tea light holders, and there you go. Just a little idea for something you can turn for Christmas. Okay, and let me just pop that out a bit. Let me come around this side. I should be in shot. Okay, and there you go, guys. And again, just another bit of how to get an absolute perfect finish off of Carbide. You saw the sanding we've done here, and it's not just a tiny little thing. I mean, you know, nice sweeping cuts there with the Carbide, get a beautiful finish. And again, like with all the other ones, catch free turning, no catches. A bit like if you did watch the fishing video I just done, I carried on the theme, catch free fishing as well. There you go. What can I say about that? Catch free turning, catch free fishing. Right, okay, guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. So just give you a little zoom up on that. There we go, and that U is absolutely stunning. So there we go, guys. Toodle pip.